Okay, I've got a question. What do a crooked portrait, a new children's book, and a spooky cul-de-sac have in common?
Well, somehow, believe it or not, they are all key plot points in 2025's Hallmark movie, Haul Out the Halloween, and we've got a lot to talk about, Josh.
We do, Jennifer, and we will unwrap it all for you on this episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Well, we are taking a detour from talking about holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, that time of year, to bring you a fun recap on a brand new Hallmark movie, this one about Halloween, and the third in this series that happens to star Wes Brown, Lacey Chabert, and a host of familiar faces from Evergreen Lane, Jennifer.
That's right. So buckle up. The bar was set high for me with this one. So here's the plot summary. New Halloween-obsessed neighbors inspire residents of Evergreen Lane to haul out their spookiest costumes and decor to become EverSCREAM Lane. Let's go.
So it's so good to be back on Evergreen Lane. Let me just say that at the onset, Jennifer. I felt like when I saw that opening shot of that cul-de-sac, I immediately felt happy. Did you feel the same?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Absolutely.
this is our third year with them. It's like coming home.
It is. It is. So we hear Lacey Chabert. She plays Emily. She's there to welcome us back to Evergreen Lane. It's the most festive street in America, she declares. And bam, we're at her wedding, right? She's marrying Jared, played by Wes Brown. This is a fall wedding. It looks beautiful. All of the familiar faces are there. She's got some bridesmaids who happen to be some of the neighbors and friends and the whole nine yards. It's amazing. I was very excited to see this wedding at the start of this. Were you?
I was. I was afraid we wouldn't get the wedding because the second movie ended with him proposing, right? So I
Right.
thought we were going to yada yada and not get the wedding. But we've invested a lot with these people at this point, so I wanted to see it. I was glad the townies were involved in it, and I was glad it didn't take up the whole movie. Like, I'm glad we didn't do a whole wedding
Right.
movie. We've seen plenty of
Exactly.
those before. We've seen Lacey Chabert do wedding movies. I was glad it was just like it had its moment, it had its place, and then we move on into the
We're moving
Halloween of
on.
it all.
Exactly. So we're seeing some familiar faces and friends from the series. There are winks and nods to some of these earlier moments in the series, and this wedding's oh so satisfying. The vows are heartfelt, and I'm immediately invested, and that's before the bubble guns they have for the recessional, which I just thought was a great idea. Like, why didn't I do that at my wedding? Bubble guns. I mean, that was just
But
really
your wedding
great,
had a
I
mashed
thought.
potato bar, so that was pretty
It
baller.
did. It did. Mashed potatoes in martini glasses with what, something like 12 to 15 different toppings you could put on your mashed potatoes. It was pretty great. To
I
this
think about it
day,
often, Josh.
yeah, and you aren't the only one. To this day, when I run into random people, life changes and your friends groups changes, but every now and again you run across someone who happened to be at your wedding, 12, 15 years ago. People bring up that mashed potato bar every time I talk to them about our wedding. So it was a good one. Yeah.
As it should. I mean, yeah, y'all were in love and y'all were cute and all that, but the mashed potato bar was
Yes, exactly.
top notch.
Anyway, we're back on the cul-de-sac, and what do you know? They've got some new neighbors, and they are all about Halloween. The neighbors are lurking. The folks out there on Evergreen Lane, they're a little unsure, and they're a little bit peeved. Wes and Emily are on their way to their home from their honeymoon in a limo, no less. And they happen to see the new decor next door. Wes puts his glasses back on. He's back in HOA presidency mode. Honeymoon over. There is business to attend to on Evergreen Lane. Now, they ring the doorbell and they make their case to Marvin and Luna, and it's played by Daniel Kountz and Kimberly Brown. And if you recognize these two, you should, right, Jennifer?
They were from Halloweentown, and they were actors in that movie, and then they got married in real life. So what a deep cut. Like, it's one of those things, if you know that they're there, and that's fun. But if you didn't know, if you were older, or maybe just didn't watch that movie back in the day, it doesn't take you out of it. It's not distracting.
Right. I just thought it was such a smart wink and a nod and such a smart, fun thing to do. Anyway, this conversation with these two does not go well. In fact, Wes learns the new neighbors were encouraged by Emily's parents to jazz things up. And even better, Emily's parents are staying with the newlyweds in their house. Yay! What? Yeah.
This whole opening sequence I could watch over and over again because it starts with Jerry getting out of the limo, leaving Emily like, well, he's getting his glasses on, like you said, and he has like his briefcase or his HOA like citation pad with him, so presumably he carried it with him on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
He picks Emily up to take her inside. He sees this, drops her. Then they're talking to the neighbors. And my favorite line, they were like, "Oh, why don't you come in?" The neighbors were like, "Why don't you come in and we'll get to know you?" He's like, "Oh," he was coming up with excuses. He's like, "I'm sorry, we haven't properly been deloused yet." Like, they haven't been sprayed down for lice. I died. I watched that part 5 times. And my husband watched this one with me. He doesn't always watch these movies, but he liked the first 2. We cackled. I mean, I just couldn't the term delouse isn't used enough now, you know?
No.
I need to incorporate it into my everyday. But
Agreed.
it was such a, like, throwaway thing, but it was so funny. Whoever wrote that line, top notch. So,
Well-
yes, I was here for all this. But the parents are staying with them in this mansion that Emily has acquired from them.
Yeah.
It's their house, or it was their
It's
house.
their house. Was their
What?
house, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the parents are supposed to be
Weird.
living in Florida. We learned that in an earlier one, but you're right, they're back. This thing is so well written. I laughed out loud so many times watching this movie because it is just that kind of movie. And the thing that I loved especially, and I'll get into it in Golden Coal later too, but it's just like to see these characters still communicating the same way they did the first one and then the second one is just so satisfying. And it's like the characters evolved and it's all so warm and familiar. Anyway, the 4 of
Yes.
them, Emily, Wes, and her parents, are unpacking the backstory here. Now, it turns out Halloween used to be a very big deal on Evergreen Lane until Emily's Gram passed away. Now, Emily goes to talk to a large portrait of Gram in the basement, which suspiciously had no dust, no nothing on it. It looked like it was a brand new portrait just hanging out in the basement there. Anyway, Wes tries to encourage her, and we get a flashback. Now, Gram was all about Halloween and all about the tradition of it all and remembering those who passed because, of course, it's Hallmark and the deader, the better. Emily is suddenly inspired rather quickly to revitalize the cul-de-sac's Halloween tradition. And so we are off to the races. Now, not just Christmas, it's going to be a big Halloween on Evergreen Lane. Are you a big Halloween fan, Jennifer?
More so now than I used to be. I feel like, I mean, I was when I was little and trick-or-treating and all that. And my dad would make a display for our front yard. He cut out tombstones and we had like, he got a scarecrow but put a sheet over it and eyes so it looked like a ghost in the graveyard and all that. We had that. And then it took a lull. And now I'm back at it because I have kids. So we're more spooky, less scary. But
Yeah.
my street is no Evergreen or EverSCREAM Lane, but my street does about every third house has a big Halloween display, and it is very satisfying, except when you have really small children, and some of them have like, you know, 2-story tall zombies with like blood and werewolves and stuff. It's cool for me to look at, but like, it's a little creepy for the kids. We have a 7-foot tall inflatable Bucky Beaver vampire in my front yard because
Choices.
I'm classy.
Yeah, keeping it classy.
And
I
we
love that.
have an annual Halloween party. By the way, I need to know if you're coming. And we you know, do crafts and have merriment and the kids dress up in costumes and stuff like that. So
Always a good
I'm more
time.
into it now than I used to be.
Yeah. My 9-year-old is going as Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters, and we just got her costume in. I'll send you the picture, Jennifer. I'm a little concerned because it's a lot of exposed belly, and I'm not ready for it.
Ew.
She's 9. Yeah.
She's
Anywho,
9, yeah. That's tough.
this is the ongoing challenge. Exactly. Anyway, so Wes decides that he's going to hang up the picture of Gram in the living room and is off to the creepy attic in their house, complete with Emily's drum set. Now, what you need to know is that Emily had this drum set in the attic, and it was adorned on the bass drum with a handwritten Nickelback logo, which I just thought was like a fun thing for those of us who grew up in that time frame, because obviously that was a very big deal back then. Yeah.
When they'd established in the earlier movies, she was a big Nickelback fan. So I thought that was really funny to tie that back together. Yeah, the continuity was good.
Yeah. Emily finds some of her old writing and wonders about dreams lost, because she had this dream of being a writer, and she's off to then go plan the HOA meeting. So we get this little bit about writing. So that's going to be an underlying theme for her throughout this entire movie. Jared dusts off some of those old books of hers, and he has a plan. Now, the neighbors are gossiping about the new neighbors, and Melissa Peterman, as she often does, steals this entire scene for me. She's hilarious here.
Yep.
They get caught, however, talking about these new neighbors when these neighbors quite literally materialize in their midst, like just happen to show up like the London fog. It was really funny to me.
Yep.
And and they meet the rest of the Evergreen gang. Soon enough, Jared and Emily are there with theatrics and an agenda. They are clearly all in on Halloween. Even the new neighbors have an idea for a scary alley to help raise money for the Children's Hospital, because of course it's Hallmark and we better have some sort of charitable thing happening to really drive this plot forward, Jennifer.
I thought it was super sweet. And yeah, the neighbors were like, no, we're not like, witches. We just really like Shakespeare, right? And so that makes sense, because she had, like, on the tombstones in their yard, it said Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, which is like a Shakespeare reference, and like all these deep cuts to Shakespearean culture. I thought that was a really fun thing to do, to incorporate.
I did too, for sure. Emily is unpacking everything about this, lingering thing about the dream she has of being a writer with a gal pal whose daughter is reading her books. Now, this woman who had the daughter, is that her sister? I couldn't remember. Do you remember?
No, I think it was just a friend.
Just a friend. Anyway, so the friend's daughter is reading this book.
She baked cookies with her early in the movies and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That sounds good. Yeah. So it turns out she wrote 7 of these books. Never published them or anything. But the daughter just gobbled them up, read them, loved them. They're quite endearing. Emily is maybe inspired here. So again, we get a little bit more about that. Emily and Wes are off to a costume shop. He wants to do the costume contest individually, and she is not necessarily excited about that. So a little bit of newlywed kerfuffle here. He is a clueless newlywed and can't quite see that his wife's fine doesn't really mean fine at all. And that is a lesson that every newly married man needs to know. So come for the Hallmark reviews, stay for the marriage advice. Men listeners, all 2.3 of you. If your wife, if your significant other says fine, that rarely means fine. Am I getting that right, Jennifer?
I don't want to say that all women play games or anything, but it probably is fine. But room for improvement is what I would guess. It is just that. It's fine.
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 Anyway, they wind up game planning their yard display, and Emily has a big idea here. She should reach out to Ashlyn Ashworth, the same girl who scared Emily as a child, who just happens to be a TV anchor now to do a story on what's happening on EverSCREAM Lane. So the backstory on Ashlyn. So Emily really doesn't like Halloween at the start of this because she had this bad experience with Ashlyn who scared her, and she was traumatized by that. And because of that, doesn't like Halloween. So this is her sort of confronting all of that and saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this girl who scared me, who's now an anchor over at News, to see if she wants to come to the cul-de-sac to do a story. Okay, we'll see. So Wes is back on the lane, and through a series of rather comedic events here, he puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that his mom and Ned, weirdo Ned on the cul-de-sac, are in fact an item. Emily is picking up her writing hobby, and ding, she gets a text that News is in fact coming to cover the rejuvenation of the cul-de-sac's tradition. Did you like this scene with Wes coming to this realization that his mom and Ned, who we have come to see as this sort of doofy, how would you describe Ned? Doofy, just really
He's just
weird.
like the neighborhood weirdo. Yeah, like
Yes.
he'll say offhanded remarks and like, there's not bodies in his basement, but there's probably like old deer carcasses. Like he says weird stuff like that you're like, he's not harmful in that way. He's not going to be on a Netflix documentary, but I don't know that I would be excited if my mom was dating him. And not to mention,
No.
he seems way older than her, doesn't he? I know
Way
age doesn't really mean
older.
anything when it comes to love, but like, I never would have seen this coming.
No.
I did like
No.
this because he's riding his little golf cart down the street and like he sees them kind of making like flirting across the street at one
Canoodling.
another and he starts to put
Canoodling.
it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he loses his mind. I thought it was so funny.
So funny. Emily talks to Graham's painting, and it tilts all over again. What is going on? So that's the thing. They hang the picture up on the wall, and all of a sudden it just goes, and it does this throughout the movie, where they straighten the picture, and then it goes, so there's something afoot. They've got a ghost in the house.
And yeah, this
Weird.
Graham painting, it looks like the Baptist church photo for the directory, like
Exactly.
30 years ago, probably.
It's like a life touch.
And she is very posed.
Very
But
posed.
also Graham, she looks like the kind of gal you want to stay on her good side because she'll
For
rough
sure.
you up real quick.
Real quick. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Ashlyn Ashworth from Wake Up, Utah is there on the cul-de-sac. She's about as charming as you'd expect a frenemy to be. There are puns a million here, along with more overt gestures between Jared's mom and Ned, so much so that they wind up smooching on live local television. Jared is big mad, and as a result, he smashes a pumpkin on live TV, leaving Ashlyn to wonder if it's not EverSCREAM Lane, but Evermean Lane. Ooh, boy, this is all bad press for the neighborhood. And now the big fundraiser for the Children's Hospital is in jeopardy. Jared is in deep trouble with the HOA. He's being suspended as president. Emily is now in charge in his absence until he makes it right with both Ned and his mom. Wowza, this is a lot of drama and consequence unfolding for our dear friends. Your thoughts, Jennifer?
Didn't like the Jared throwing the pumpkin thing. I liked the first bit where he was freaked out by them being together, but to get so mad he smashes a pumpkin in the street that's uncharacteristic of our Jared. I didn't like it. And then it just drags on too long. Now, it did pay off a little bit because I appreciated that there's like this, whatever they called it. It was the board. It was the old lady, Melissa Peterman's character, and then the old man are like, they were going to tell Jared whether he could stay as HOA president or not. And they'd gone to Swigalicious to get drinks, and they came back drinking these sodas. And I have watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives enough to know that they don't drink hot beverages. They don't drink alcohol, at least this branch of the Mormon culture, but they will throw down on a soda. And so the fact that they're in Utah for this movie and they're swigging their Swigalicious made me laugh so much. So it was worth it. If I had to watch him smash a pumpkin to get that, I'm okay with it. But I just didn't really like it. Did you?
No, I didn't. You're right. It felt very out of character for him. I think they wanted to do this. He lost his cool kind of thing, but it did go maybe this much too much far for me. Anyway, so
and
Jared's
if I'm a
now
newlywed and my husband's now like going super aggro and smashing pumpkins, I'm going to start to question things a little bit. It's not a great impression.
A little concerning. No, not at all. Jared is immediately on an apology tour here. First stop, he's got to go see his mom. They have a nice conversation over tea. She slings some youth verbiage, and the two have a heartfelt chat. It's a really nice scene, yet still pretty funny. Soon enough, it transitions, and Jared is grabbing a beer with Ned. Now, this conversation is awkward, but in a heartfelt, bro-y kind of way. And so they all make up. It's like this big question mark about Jared really running the HOA and being a man of character is immediately solved. Like, problem, let's move on. We got other things to do here. More laughs on the way. So Emily goes off to the TV station to make things right with Ashlyn, and she's back to the cul-de-sac for the big baking competition they have here. Now, Emily's high on the creativity of her writing, and everyone is off to the beastly bake-off. Emily winds up winning. What? And Pamela, again, Melissa Peterman here, is fit to be tied, like falls out on her face, whatever. Eventually, she comes around to the sentimentality of there's no place like home in a Wizard of Oz nod that had me cackling because she's on the bed, much like Dorothy, and then they're all gathered around her. And they had the one character even popping his head in from the window. It was comedic through and through. Your thoughts?
It was bonkers. At this point in the movie, I paused and I was like, what are we doing? I'm
Are we
here
off the
for it.
rails?
I'm
Yeah.
on the ride. But they were just like throwing anything at the old cauldron to see what stuck. It was unexpected. Unexpected. For sure.
Yeah, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Ashlyn touches base, and Channel 6 wants to come back after Emily's apology. She and Wes rally the troops, and we're off to the races. And I realized in my notes I keep calling him Wes. It's Jared. You guys get it. It's Wes. It's Jared. Wes. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, but there's gossip.
He's just such a good actor that he embodies, it's hard to say where Wes ends and Jared begins.
And this is why our podcast works, because I've got a co-host who covers for my mistakes in that kind of way. Gah.
Well, Lord knows you edit around my technical glitches and goofy glitches plenty.
Teamwork makes
Sidebar,
the dream work.
I tried to meet Wes Brown at the Grand Ole Opry thing last week. I was in line to meet him and Jenna Claire Mason, our queen, who we love so much. And they would move them around Opry Plaza to different stations. And so I was in line, and then they got scuttled off to a different place. And then I think they had to do interviews or something. I couldn't find them, so I didn't get to meet them. But I wanted to.
Sad.
I'm sure they're great.
Of course they're great. Yeah, exactly. There's gossip that Ashlyn only wants to cover all of this because she thinks it'll be a disaster. Nevertheless, it's full steam ahead. Emily unpacks the stress of everything going on in her life with the Graham portrait all over again, which again has fallen crooked. Anyway, finally, it's Halloween. We get a trick-or-treat montage. We get the oldest people who live on Evergreen Lane rapping about Frankenstein. That was bonkers for me. And Emily is off to chat with Ashlyn, who, as a professional journalist, has showed up to an assignment dressed as Glinda. And, okay, Emily is dressed as a bad witch. She gives, however, Emily gives Ashlyn her brand new book she wrote, and they bury the hatchet because Emily's main character is a callback to this whole scary thing that she endured when she was a child at Ashlyn's hand, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, it was a very kind of sweet gesture, and it works, and they sort of bury the hatchet. So she wasn't there for the shenanigans of it all. Meantime, Jared has slipped out of a curtain from backstage, and he's dressed as a character named Chatty Kruger. Not Freddy Krueger, not Chad Kruger, Chatty Kruger. So it's a callback to Nickelback and Freddy Krueger together at last. And he strums the guitar just once. And when I tell you, I thought that this was a missed opportunity. This is like my one problem with this movie. Like, it was so funny. He came out and he just strummed the guitar once. Like, come on, we could have maybe found a way to rewrite just a little bit of a Nickelback song to give it a Halloween vibe. Did you want more of this? Because I wanted more of this, Jennifer.
Yes, I wanted more of this. I mean, and Wes Brown sings. He could have had a moment. And he strums the guitar, and I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so smart to do Chatty Kruger because she loves Nickelback and Freddy Krueger. So smart. No wonder he wanted to do his own costume. This is he's going to perform for her or something and prove why he's great and not some aggro guy smashing pumpkins. And then he's like, okay, just kidding. New wife here. I got us a couple's costume after all.
I know.
She
and the
dressed
couples
up like the witch. P.S. The new costumes were not as good as their original separate costumes. They looked better originally. No.
Yeah, because they were doing, it was like a sailor and a sailor's wife kind of costume. Is that what they were going for?
Like the D-Day, that black and white picture where the sailor is dipping the girl. Yeah. No.
They looked great in it, but you're right. It was not as good as what they, yeah. Seconds later, he presents Emily with the couple's costume, and he has this moment where he's like, we're a team, right? Yeah, here we go. He also, because we've got to, have this callback to his love of Christmas, he gets an invitation to Santa Academy in Norway. Okay, so there's that. didn't really know why we needed that as a plot point, but here we go. Are we
Are we
setting
going to
up
get another
perhaps a
movie?
fourth?
Is that... Yeah, well, we had the Santa class last year with Benjamin Ayers and Kimberly Sested on Hallmark. Are
I
they going to have
know.
a sequel and bring him to Santa school?
To
If
Santa
not, then
Academy?
that's super random.
Now that would be quite a crossover if we had.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Kimberly and Benjamin and Lacey and Wes in that kind of a movie where he's at Santa Academy and we're getting that whole thing again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd be
I
great.
could be here for that. Yeah.
It'd be great.
Anyway,
I
so
doubt that's what's happening. It's probably just like if we get another movie, which P.S. I'm going to watch as many Hall out whatever movies that they'll give me. I'll watch them all. But if we get another one, it'll be like cut to Santa class was great. I have some new ideas for Evergreen Lane. You know, like I
Mhm.
doubt it's going to be showing what we really would want. But
yeah. Anyway, moments later, they are dancing in the living room because Halloween's been a big success on EverSCREAM Lane, even though we never hear how much money they raised for the children's hospital. So, okay, I guess
and
we
we see
yada
very few
yada.
children, period. It's
Exactly.
mostly the adult neighbors.
Yeah. It was a success, but we don't know to what extent the whole charitable thing actually played out. Doesn't really matter because we're dancing in the living room next to the crooked portrait of Graham. And we fade to black just as that crooked portrait of Graham finally goes and shifts perfectly to straight. Weird.
It's time for Gold or Coal.
Okay, listeners, it is time for our Gold or Coal segment. We are each going to bring 3 gifts to the podcast. If there's more gold, it's a treat. If there's more coal, it's a trick. Easy enough. Josh, I'm coming to you first.
Gold to start. This movie is so well written. There are just LOLs throughout. And it's even better if you've seen the first 2. So on its own, this one stands alone because you get it on its own. But it's even better if you've seen the other 2. And I love when we get follow-up movies that really reward you for your loyalty to the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. But I agree. If this is your first intro into Evergreen Lane, you got it. But now, hopefully, if you're watching this, go back and watch the other 2 because you'll just fall in love even more. My first gift is going to be coal for the Jared storylines. It made me like him less as a character. And I like Jared, but the throwing of the pumpkin, I just thought he was acting a little uncharacteristic, not in a good way to me.
I can see that for sure. I'm going to give some coal. The ending of this for me felt a little yada-yada'd. Like we were wrapping up some of these plot points really too easy breezy. Like the whole thing with Ashlyn, the whole charity thing that wound up being kind of a throwaway. It was the main motivation for why we were doing this whole thing on EverSCREAM Lane, and then we never kind of got, we raised $25,000. There's no payoff for it. Yeah, it just kind of felt like some of that was yada yada at the end.
Yeah, and this isn't another gift for me, but I'm just going to piggyback on because I was going to say similarly, but it seemed a little spazzy. Like it seemed like we took a whole lot of ideas and just kind of threw them here and there. And we're going to make them laugh here. And again, I'm here for it. It was funny, but it wasn't as cohesive as I think the jokes were well written. The story had pacing issues, I think. So I guess I will give Cole. That was a Cole. I'm sorry. I will give it Cole. The pacing was way off. Like I didn't know what we were doing. Every scene was jumping around to something different. It felt very spazzy.
Yeah. And to that point too, it's like we got these 2 new neighbors and they were there, but their plot really had no arc. There was no nothing. There was no anything
with time with
them. Yeah, we didn't get enough time with them. Yeah. Missed opportunity. I'm going to give a little bit of gold here. It is nice to see these characters develop over these 3 movies. I actually, at the end of the day, liked the development of the relationship between Ned and Jared's mom because I just thought that was a quirky thing out of left field that was surprising, but just was a fun kind of plot development there. It worked for me, and I was glad to see it.
Really thought in the beginning that they were just pranking Jared. And like at the end, this was all gonna be a prank just to stress him out
Psych.
and like
Yeah.
rile him up. Yeah, and they'd be like, "Nah, just kidding." But the longer it went, I was like, "Nobody's giving this away. Like, there's no winks from Pamela or anything. I think this is like the real deal." So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. My last gift will be gold. I mean, we love the Christmas movies. We love the Hanukkah movies. There are not enough Halloween movies. Our favorite is October Kiss with Ashley Williams. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. But this is such a slam dunk Halloween movie. It gives me all the feelings, the spooky feels, I guess we could say. Spooky, I can't think of an alliteration, but yes. Loved the Halloweenness of it all. They went full Halloween, and I'm happy about it.
Full tilt Halloween. All right, so what was that for
Mhm.
the total then? Because I wasn't keeping count. Oof. I had two.
Because I threw one in there. I had 2 coals and a gold.
Okay, I had 2 golds and a coal. So it's a
So we tied.
3-3 tie. We're just going to call it a meh, which feels right for me. I'll let you have the final word, but I think it's kind of one of those where it's like funny, yes, frantic, yes, missed opportunities, yes, still okay, yeah. So it feels right to call it meh for me. What do you think?
Yeah, and I ran into the same issue on In a Merry Measure. I really liked this movie. I will probably watch it every year. But is it a great movie, qualitatively speaking? From pacing, storytelling, character arcs, jokes, like all of that. When you put it all together, I don't think it's a super strong movie as much as the first 2 were. It did
Right.
feel very haphazard. But I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. But I
Agreed.
guess meh
Yeah.
is right. I guess meh is where we need to be as far as if we're rating these movies on, is it a good movie? As much as we can weigh in on our piddly opinions of what something is a good movie or not.
Yeah.
The
I think that
bad
feels right.
the issues, the coal was glaring in spots. So
Yeah.
again though, if they put out Haul Out the Easter, Haul Out the Kwanzaa, Haul Out the Groundhog Day, I'll watch them all. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm seated for all of it. So
I
keep
just
making
want
them. But
I just want
it's not in the
more.
pantheon of good Hallmark movies.
No, I'm with you 100%. You know what would be? Give me a Pamela spinoff movie. I would, as long as the day is, watch over and over again a movie about Pamela. I think that character is so underutilized in this movie. I wanted to see more of her hijinks. I wanted to hear
Mhm.
more from her. Just more Pamela, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we spent too much time on this, like, old friend that jumped out at Lacey Chabert when I really just
Mm-hmm.
want townies. I want
Yeah.
99% townies being townies, talking about crullers. Like, that's what these movies mean to me. So,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, there you go.
So it was 3-3 for us. Do you agree? Did you love this movie? Did you hate this movie? Do you feel like it's meh like we do? Let us know in the comments. Of course, we want to hear from you. Hey, by the way, if you're not following us on social media, why not? Everybody's on Instagram, and we are too at Do You Watch What I Watch?
That's right. And we've been posting a ton of content, so much content, because if y'all haven't been following us, the like 24 Hallmark stars came to Nashville last week for this Countdown to Christmas kickoff thing. I took the day off work and met some of them to and fro. I didn't meet everybody. I wish I'd had like a bingo card, you know? I didn't meet everybody, but I met a lot of them and got pictures with some of them. It was all amazing. They're all as kind as you want them to be. It was incredible, but I did take some videos and I have more to upload too of like they were talking on stage about their upcoming movies and whatnot. So I'll be sharing some
Oh,
of
that's
that
great.
footage too. I've learned this week, Josh, I am not built to be a content creator.
It's like a full-time
I
job, isn't it? Good grief.
I was exhausted at
That's a
the end of
lot.
the day. I did nothing, but I was exhausted. So, thank you to everybody who's been engaging with us. We really appreciate it. Oh, also, real quick, I did meet Lacey Chabert, and I probably have a restraining order out on me because I told her, well, Ashley Williams, I saw first at the Hallmark store, real quick. And I said, "Hi, I'm Jennifer. I have a podcast. Do you watch what?" She's like, "Yes. Oh my gosh." She walked me into the rest of them. It was like BJ Britt, Benjamin Ayers, Brooke Dorsey, Lacey Chabert. And she said, "This is Jennifer. She has a podcast." And I'm like, "Oh." I was like, "We say nice things, though. I mean, like, Lacey, I've gone on record of saying you have the nicest shoulders in Hallmark." And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice." And then I doubled down on the awkward, and I was like, I mean, look at him, because she had, like, a sleeveless dress on that she looked amazing, and I was like, "Look at these, see, these are great shoulders." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm touching you. I'm so sorry, I'm touching you. I shouldn't be touching you." She's like, "It's okay." I was like, "I promise I'm not a weirdo."
For the record,
And then
though we've declared
security
Lacey Chabert
escort.
has the best shoulders on Hallmark, we are not weirdos.
I meant it in a good way, but I was then escorted out. Not really, but I should have been, probably, because I was making such a fool of myself. But I really meant it sincerely, and she was very gracious. So, she's shorter than me. I didn't realize that. Fun fact.
There you go. There you go.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Okay. Stop me from myself, Josh. Let's wrap it up.
At some point we will. And that, friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch? Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with a friend, write a 5-star review. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to bop that like button. And hey, go ahead and hit subscribe while you're at it. Just do all of the things so that you get this kind of great content and you help our podcast grow. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, you help us, we help you pass the time in your commute and whatnot. It's a two-way street, guys. Let's help each other out. Special thanks, as always, to Nick Schwartz for our theme song. He wrote, produced, and sang it. And also, guys, if you have caught one of the Countdown to Christmas promos where it's Joy to Your World with Mickey Guyton and Drew Baldridge singing, Nick produced that song, and we're going to talk to him about it. So stay tuned for that. We're so glad to be in the good graces of Christmas song pantheon something. I don't know. Anyways, next time we're going to talk about Hallmark's A Christmas Angel Match. What's the synopsis, Josh? Please.
Sure. 2 Christmas angels with opposite styles must unite soulmates before the holiday while dealing with department downsizing and their own unexpected connection. One thing is for sure, we're going to have a lot to discuss. But until then,
may your days be merry and bright. We'll see you next time.